And if you want to get out there on a Can-Am or get out there on the ocean on a Sea-Doo, they are ready to get you rocking and rolling. As we are inside Competition Motorcycle, Comp Bike as it's known, our proud sponsor Friday Sea-Doo and Can-Am, giving us all the support needed to go racing. Troy Thompson, who originally was set to come out the Aeroflow lane, has optioned to jump over to the Rare Spares Osborne Park lane. And up here in Formula Tech Race Control with me, Joshy Starling. Welcome back to the mic.
Thank you, Corey. It's been a bit of a challenging night, to say the least, with a few things going on, but we are very quickly getting down to crunch time. This is the third and final round of the Chicago Shootout for Competition Bike.
We're having a bit of conversation here on the start line between our track staff and officials. Hank and Troy getting the hold up. Competition Bike eliminations round number 3. Troy Thompson on a double C altered bike, giving the indication it's got some boost and it's well modified. He's looking for an index of an 820. We've seen this bike right into the 7s plenty of times before.
Good reaction time. 002, if you don't mind, for Thompson. After all that weight underneath Chris Mills' Performance Bridge, it's a 768 flat at 299 kilometers an hour for Troy Thompson. Very, very solid.
A comfortable half second under the index for Competition Motorcycle as we see our top qualifier come out the Rare Spares Osborne Park lane. It's Daniel Natalotto from the Street Bike Drag School. They're down here every Wednesday supporting new riders and drivers and giving them the ins and outs of riding up 402 metres worth of asphalt here at the Perth Motorplex.
Certainly, and he's been consistently almost 0.6 under his index of a 967. He's going to have a 1.4 second head start over Matt Hanaud in the other lane, who goes a 001 red on the wrong side of the light. So Daniel Natalotto will take the win in this one. Runs a 908.1 at 252 kilometers an hour.
Something's really working on that bike this weekend, running almost a tenth faster than we normally see it at our traditional track championship round. So well done, Daniel Natalotto. Half a second under the index as to be expected. 0.58 for that matter. And just like Joshy said, he's run into that 0.6 a few times. Phil Payton and Wayne Gummo on track now.
Certainly are, of course, Wayne running to that 934 index on his Kawasaki. Phil Payton running to the 844 in the Rare Spares lane. So it's going to be 0.9 of a second separating these two as they get away. Reaction time goes the way of Wayne Gummo, an 020 versus an 066.
But 1,000cc's worth of boost does the talking for Phil Patton, and it's Pace Motorsport to the other end of the racetrack first. An 815 on an index of an 844. Very nicely done for the double D comp bike.
Super solid, 1.3 to the 60. 278 kilometers an hour as they cross the stripe there. And Payton adds his name to the winners list. His third victory in the Chicago Shootout.
Another bike that's had an astronomically fantastic season. Ross Smith ran his first 7-second pass. That was nearly 10 years waiting. And Darren McDonald did a cartwheel on the start line to celebrate that one. Rob Wosley is over in the Aeroflow lane. He will be up against Ross Smith. Another thing I love about Ross Smith, if he ever makes it to trophy presentations, he's coming in Ugg boots. And he knows comfort. That man knows how to live. He's on the racetrack at the moment with the super extended swing arm on that Hayabusa. Rob Wosley on the Kawasaki ZX-10.
1.06 seconds is going to be the difference on the tree as they count it down to double. It's an 077 versus a 133. But then again, this is where the legs come into it. Right around him, Ross Smith goes to take the win. An 810 with a 3 at 261 kilometers an hour sees Ross Smith take the victory in that round of Chicago Shootout. And we're just seeing 4 riders now go through with 3 wins in the Chicago Shootout format.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of number crunching as we move into finals for Competition Bike, thanks to Friday Sea-Doo and Can-Am. And we graced with another Ross on the racetrack. It's Ross Green this time on a Suzuki Hayabusa, 1327 cc's at FME. Goodness, going racing in the Aeroflow lane. Michael Hollister, who's had a pretty good weekend. We did see a strange cherry turn up on the tree in the previous round. He had to suck that, swallow it, and just accept the fact that this is Chicago shootout and he would not be eliminated. He'd get the joy of running Ross Smith in this third round thanks to Comp Bike.
We get set to go. It's pretty much going to be leaving identical. It's only 0.02 of a second to get away. Sleepy reaction times on both sides. It's a 0.3 versus a 0.5. Very odd for this form of racing. It's a 7:58 with a 1 for Michael Hollister. That will take the win at 300 kilometres an hour.
Beautiful.
At the top end.
A PB for speed by 7 k's an hour, and the first time we've seen 300 turn up from Michael Hollister in competition. A great salute to the performance package of that psychedelic bike. As we move into one of the most premium categories in class on 2 wheels, optionable, Ryan Learmonth brings a pro stock motorcycle out onto the racetrack. Wise Guy Racing, the Suzuki TRL. They were a TRL 1000, now it's a TRL 1872. Very nicely shoehorned between his knees. He's up against Rebecca Archer on the Suzuki B King for an A Street bike. 1.6 will separate him on the start line. Rebecca looking for a 930 or better. Ryan Learmonth looking for a 774 or better.
The getaway is a 0.231 for Rebecca. An 082 is the better reaction time for Learmonth, who drives around at the top end of the racetrack. Runs a 7:23 with a 3 at 294 kilometres an hour. Rebecca Archer, a 9:33 flat on a 236 kilometre an hour pass. So she's 0.01 under her bike's index on that run.
Great performance from both riders. Really interesting part of the index system of competition motorcycle. Half a second is added, and so when we see these bikes run half a second under, it really means they're running right on the national record and right on the pointy end of the scale. We got Joe Corey out on the racetrack at the moment in the Rare Spares Osborne Park lane, and he is your national champion from South Hurstville, New South Wales. The Harley Davidson Destroyer, 1430 cc's, a production-based motorcycle to allow you to go drag racing, has become the #1 bike in the country, up against Blair Pennington from Queensland, who gets the win on this occasion.
Certainly does. A 096 red light from newly crowned national champ. He's going to drive it out the back door anyway, a 9022 at 230 kilometres an hour. Blair Pennington takes the win on a 14:55 with a 4 and really slowed up towards the top side of the racetrack. Only 88 kilometres an hour recorded through the speed trap.
He's still kind of creeping through the braking area, as well as the attention on the camera checks out David Waters. A great view of his Kawasaki ZX-10R. 10Rs are about 1,000 cc's, and this one comes up with 998. They would have had the water in the cylinder head to get the measure on that one. William Wasley on the Yamaha R6. We're even shrinking the cubic capacity even further. A beautiful bike, looking for D Street bike. It's a 10.28 index. David Waters a 9.67, and it's a green on both sides of the racetrack.
Certainly is. William has the advantage in 022 versus a 0.124 for David Waters, and William is out of there as he hits the top side of the racetrack at 10.12 with a 3 at 221 kilometres an hour. Seals the deal for him, and now this is where a whole lot of number crunching starts. At the end of the 3 rounds of the Chicago shootout, we have a good 7 riders gone through undefeated.
Unbelievable.
So it's going to be an almighty number crunch to try and seat the field for our competition bike finals.
Yeah, I can't